Hey.
Yeah. Welcome to What the Podcast. My name is Ryan.
I'm John.
And we are
Ryan and John.
That's right, we are.
Yep. How you feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling good. That was a fun little. It was a rocky start. I'm gonna be real with our audience here. We had some technical issues, but
at this point, it's not an episode for us unless something technically goes wrong right before. I'll tell you, we've gotten it pretty much down as far as
we're basically there.
What's funny is it kind of switched. It's like in the beginning we had audio really down, and then video we were kind of working on and kind of changing, and now it feels like video comes really quick, and audio is always something we're adjusting. But you know what? We're here. We made it happen.
We did, and I just took the first sip of my coffee. Have you had this pistachio latte from Starbucks yet?
I've heard about it through Cara. She told me, and because I'm glad you brought this up.
Yeah.
Because I have been missing the pumpkin cream cold brew.
Yeah.
Like, very much so.
That time of year?
I feel like I'm kind of lost in when it comes to my Starbucks drink. It became so much of like the easy thing. Like, it was like a treat. And then, I drink black cold brew as like my tried and true, but when I was like, I want to feel something, I do pumpkin cream cold brew. And now I don't have it. And so what I'm doing now, which is what I'm drinking today, is the Irish cream cold brew, which
nice.
Is
scratching an itch for you, or
it's okay. I'll be happy when pumpkin's back, but gotta wait a whole nother
season,
Gonna be a while.
couple seasons,
whatever.
I'll tell you this. I'm sorry that we went over a list of things we were going to talk about, and I immediately started talking about coffee.
No, it's okay. No, it was good. It's candid. Come on.
It's What the Podcast. Come on. This show
that mean?
is not brought to you yet, but maybe soon.
We're going to be
by Pod Decks. This is a company that makes decks of cards with podcast questions on them, and we try to knock one out every week.
Yeah.
And this week's question is: would you rather be the best player on a horrible team or the worst player on a great team? Kind of a philosophical question, yeah.
Well, I'm glad you asked this one because I have seen. I'll be honest, I've seen this in the deck before, and I have had time to think about it. I will say, I would like to be the best on the worst team, and here's why. Because I feel like now, if you know me, you know I'm big into sports. So
sports guy.
I'm a huge sports guy. Don't even talk to me during football season or whatever. And
or something.
Whatever that's called.
But I in my head, I was thinking, you want to be the best on the worst because you have potential to like be seen by other teams, right? And be picked up. I don't know.
Sure.
But also I think it's always fun to be the best. I think it's really isolating when you're the worst in the room or on the team, What do you think?
Well, for the sake of conversation, I'm going to pose, I would like to be the, what did you say? The opposite of you.
Okay. I said the best on the worst team.
You said
so
yes.
you're saying,
Okay. I
Were
was
you
trying to
listening
not,
to
no, I
any
was
of that?
listening completely. I would like to be the worst on a really good team.
Yeah, because you probably win more championships, more rings, more stuff.
You get to go to the top and just be bad.
Yeah,
you
you're
don't have
right.
to like try.
But I think I would live in fear of getting kicked off the team if I was the worst.
Yeah, would the
on
team
best.
catch on, or is it like you have to be there
Let's expand
because of a
ourselves.
contract? Let's really dive into it. What do you guys think?
I mean, if you're the worst on the best team, that doesn't necessarily mean you're bad. Like, that means you're the worst in according to like
But you've made
whatever
it.
else.
Oh, that's
You know what I mean? So
Once
it's
again,
like
she's
you're not.
saving the good
If you're on a
answers.
team full of 10s, you're like a 4. But
No. You're like an 8. You're the worst on the team, but you're not bad.
Yeah, you're not like a 9 or a 10.
It's just 'cause they're the
but
best team.
In the
that
grand scheme
makes
of
more
the
sense than
league,
the
You're
thing
like
I
a
said.
1.
You're like a 1, like the
So
worst.
you're like a 6, right? Okay.
So
You're like
dumb.
really
So
bad.
dumb. I don't know why this question is confusing me so much.
Yeah,
okay.
You're getting really spun around.
You gotta keep drinking your coffee.
What do you think, Cara?
Cara.
I would agree with John on this one. I would want to be the best on the worst team because I think I don't want to say I've been there.
I How many sports
But-
did you play, Cara?
A lot in middle school. I actually did a
wow.
lot of sports.
You were expecting like a real
Middle
big
school.
like no sports.
Butts
no,
up.
no.
Middle
She
school.
like butts up.
I was the best at four corners.
But even
Yeah, four
like,
corners.
You
like
ruled
it
that
seems
four
like it would be a
corners.
good time, even if you're like,
Yeah, you'd
It's a
be
back-
like the
it's a good
coolest
time.
guy.
Four square,
see,
right?
then
girl.
you're
Not
you're
four
dragging
corners.
the rest of the team around.
It's
you're
four
the best
square.
player.
yeah,
and
you're
everyone
the
else
one bringing them
sucks.
to the top.
You're not at the top
Let's be
because you're on
honest.
the worst team.
Let's be honest. The coach loves you. Come on, you're the best in the
Okay.
team. The coach is like,
Okay.
this is our star player. He's going to take us to nationals. I don't know. I'm making things up. I have no idea.
Straight to
He's going to
nationals.
give us the Super Bowl. I don't know.
But
what.
you're only as good as the weakest link. And
Okay.
the weakest link is the whole team.
Then
And
the weakest
also-
link is you if you are on the worst
right.
on the best
That
team.
is
But you
true.
have to have some perspective though too. If you're on the worst team and you're the best, like where's the bar? Maybe
Yeah.
you're not that good.
You're right.
Yeah.
Maybe this has prompted a
Oh, see,
real.
it goes both ways.
Right.
You're the
Yeah.
best person on a bad team. That means you're like marginally
You're
good.
mediocre.
You're a 4 in a team of
Maybe.
ones. That's that.
There, that
I made the connection now.
you're tracking.
You know what? I guess it doesn't really matter because I never. I mean, I don't play sports on a regular basis. Did you play any sports in high school?
Nope. Not a
Nope.
one. I was a theater guy.
A theater.
And actually I was an ASB guy too. I did
Same.
ASB for 2 years. Just like what was your thing in ASB?
So, little
yeah.
synopsis
Yeah,
of my
yeah,
ASB
please.
career. I started in. We had weird names for our stuff. Maybe it'll match up for you guys.
Okay.
I started as technologies, which is like the kind of the IT person of ASB. Didn't have
Nope,
it. Probably
didn't have
yeah.
that. Nope.
And then I shifted to what was it? Elections. Which means I was in charge of all the elections, which was actually, I wish I would have appreciated it more in high school because I remember thinking like, it's just a spot,
Did you
know?
Hey, did you stuff the ballot?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I'm kidding. I never did
course.
that. I had full integrity when I was elections.
I don't
And then
buy
I
it.
ran for, this is a crushing loss for me. I ran for vice president my senior year and I lost. No joke. This is serious because the person that was counting the votes like told me like months later because it doesn't matter. She said I lost by 2 votes. Yeah, and to be honest, the girl who won was a really like a lifelong friend of mine.
She
I'm like, Voss,
sucks.
if she's listening, she's probably not. And
It's Jordan.
Yeah,
It's Jordan.
it was Emily, and she was a great VP. And like looking back, I was like, I would have not wanted to have done that job. So it worked out, but I lost by 2 votes. And I remember this is a funny anecdote for the whole thing. I sat next to this kind of weird kid in math class, and all year long, I made a point to like talk to him and get to
Sure.
know him. And the big thing when we were in elections was handing out caramel apple pops. Like that was the big like you could get
Whoa.
votes with that.
Wow.
And I remember I
You
I
could
was
get
just
presidential votes with those.
I
Things.
had boxes and boxes, and we were just because back then you could hand out candy. I don't even know if you can hand out candy anymore, but I would just hand out candy everywhere. And I remember the kid I was sitting next to. I like put in work to get to know this kid. And like everybody else, he was really socially awkward, so nobody really talked to him. And right after the election, he asked me, he's like, "Oh, did you win?" Like he didn't even pay attention, and I was like, "No, I lost." And he's like, "Oh," he's like, I was like, "Who did you vote for?" Just curious.
Not
He
you.
voted for Emily. And I said,
That's right.
So again, he's socially awkward, like, and he's like says things as it is, like, and that's kind of why people like didn't really like talking to him. And I said, like, why didn't you vote for me? Like I told you I was running, I've been talking to you, like we're friends, you know. And he's like, oh, when I was going to vote, Emily handed me a caramel apple pop. And I said,
Yes.
bro,
Dashed.
I have a full box left over in my backpack right now, and you're not getting a single one of them. And I terminated the friendship. I said, we're done professionally.
Off. We
Oh
are
my gosh. We're
finished
done
Yeah.
professionally.
So, and
Wow.
if you think about it, like if he didn't vote for Emily and voted for me, it would have been a tie, right?
That's right.
No, she would have won by
She would
one
have been
vote.
1 by 1.
No, because it takes away one
minus
from
one
her.
for her, plus one for
Oh, that's
John.
It
true.
would have been a tie if he had voted for me.
Oh, wow.
I now I think about that every once in a while. I'm like,
I mean, you were using him.
So
for
do you think he
a
voted?
Vote, so
no, I was genuinely trying to be friends with him, but
Maybe he voted for the other girl because you were being too nice. Maybe it was like,
what's this guy's deal?
Kind of
You know?
backwards. He was like, something's not right.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. It's all and like, when you, and
It's
what's
all
so funny when you think about
in the
elections now, you're like that stuff
Trash.
doesn't even matter anymore. You know, like even if you think about homecoming court, it was like a big deal in high school, and then you look back now and you're like, if I would have known what I know now, I wouldn't have gotten caught up in that because it was fun, but it really doesn't mean anything. You know.
Look, John, I was the head of the publicity department
And
for ASB.
You probably
and
killed it.
Let me explain to you what that meant for me. It means that every pep rally, every whatever, I was the only, look, let me back up.
Go ahead,
I went to a school of, I think soaking wet, we had like 500 kids, right?
Yeah, it's a small school.
It was a private Christian school. And there was 500 kids. And I was at every event with a megaphone. And the general idea was like, just get everybody pumped up. I think
You're
was
great
like,
for that, though, by the way.
it wasn't happening.
Oh, you were having a hard time with
It
it.
didn't work.
I was
You
was
were bringing the
thriving,
party.
but the party didn't show up ever because, it's like all these kids are in high school, middle school, high school, and they're like standing around. They don't care about it. They're like required by the law to be there. And
So
you're
there were
like,
people there, but they just weren't into it.
it just wasn't happening.
So let me tell you about high school spirit in general, though. It's
Yeah.
so hard because we started when I was in high school, my junior year. We started a student section to like go to the basketball games and the football games, and we were called Purple Rain because our colors were like purple and gold.
That's good.
And it was so fun, and I felt like I lost 10 years of my life putting in work for it.
Yep.
But it was like
It paid off.
What's hard is like those things are so incredible. Like I remember like one of the coolest things is like my senior year, we found out that the basketball coach got fired and it was a whole thing, but it was his last game coaching and we were playing at El Cap and we won the game and we stormed the court. Like we had like 200 kids in the student section and we stormed the court and I thought I will never forget this, but it's so much work putting it in. Like why don't high school kids just get on board?
Dude.
That was okay. So
Sorry, go
another
ahead.
no. I'm. It's a give and take here, John.
Go ahead.
You gave. No, I'm gonna give back. Here it is. We do this thing every year called air bands. I don't know if you guys did air bands, and it was like you gotta just put on like a fun dance music mashup skit, whatever it is, and all four of the freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and seniors, everybody did it every year. And it was like, okay, you have a week of homecoming to come up with it. You're working on it. You're doing the sets, you're doing the painting, the costumes and everything. And then at the end of the week, they'd perform it, for the entire student body. And it was so funny because every single year without fail, the seniors would win. Because it was like, and you'd watch them in order too. So you'd
default.
watch the freshman one and it was terrible because it's those kids that are like, I don't want to be here. This is stupid. This sucks. And then the sophomores go up and they're like, this is a little bit better, but like still like basically not having it.
The competition grows inside of you as time goes on.
Every class. So
Yeah.
the juniors would get up and like some years, the juniors were really good, but every year without fail, like a senior's dad worked at like sports arena and had like a lighting package and like smoke machine. And it was like this big epic thing.
Yeah.
And I guess that would just encourage the juniors for next year to do better. And like,
Yeah.
it was just this, you could see it happening like in real time. Like the freshmen hate it. The sophomores don't really get it. The juniors are getting into it. And it's like you said, that moment when you're like, this is awesome. This, like, they've mashed up the music. Everyone in their class is dancing and singing. Like, this is, if everyone did that, it would be like, we'd be like blowing out of the water. It'd be awesome.
So you were required to do air bands?
Yeah, that's what I was
no.
gonna ask.
So that was, you weren't required to, but like,
But everyone, it was
Okay.
like
It was
almost like
encouraged.
tradition. You had to put something
yeah, you're
up.
like in it. The freshmen are like, I'm stupid, like whatever. I'm just a freshman,
How
We know
involved
freshmen
by
are.
senior year? How involved were you? Were you like
I was
the
at
main
100.
show?
I was 100%. And to be fair, it was a junior senior high school. So in 8th grade, I was watching the older kids kind of like, and like I said, I did theater. And so I was like kind of seeing it. So my freshman year, I was kind of that, that guy at the front, like, oh, I know how to use GarageBand. Maybe we should try. And it's like, whatever. And
First
then
of all, I love freshman Ryan, by the way.
I don't know, guys. Maybe this could be like a fun thing we could do.
I love it. No, so from the beginning, you
I
were
was
like,
into it.
you were into it,
Yeah.
but you didn't want to let on. Maybe in the beginning, you were like, I'm just going to see how it
you're
is, feel it
14,
out.
You're 15. You're like trying to put yourself
course.
out there, and you get shot down almost immediately. It's like that every time.
I'll tell you, there's no feeling like a well coordinated like stage number, like
right.
it just
That's
like it is so fun. Like when you have all these lights and you're just like having a good time. That's why we started lip sync. I mean, that's why I started it back then. It was like something about like, it's like, it brings out the inner child in you, you know, and I never want to lose that feeling.
It's just so fun because like the things that you're capable of when you just pull your resources and like, it's literally in your backyard. Yeah. But the things I've seen at lip sync battle are so epic. Like for, you know, like further than their own good, you know, like
it's
just so good.
It's like a creativity embodied. Like that's what I tell people when we talk about lip sync, or we talk about, and we'll save lip sync for another time because there is so much there. But whenever I like talk to people about lip sync, I'm like, it is just like such a fun, like you have to have a vision and you have to be passionate and you have to, when you step on stage, you have to like you have to remember, like for a split second, you have to forget that you're like a fully functioning adult and just like, just remember what it's like to just put it out all on the stage, you know? But air bands, we never could do air bands at Santana. We could never pull it together.
No, same. Me neither. I literally, I was on ASB, and my senior year, they do this thing called senior photo, and they have all of the seniors, or the majority of the seniors who want to go out to the bleachers by the field, and they sit for a picture, and everybody's supposed to wear their like class color. So like every like freshman, junior, senior, whatever, everybody has their own class color. So we were supposed to all wear blue that day, and like nobody in my grade organized that. Like I was on ASB, I didn't know the date of it, I didn't keep track of it. So the day comes, I'm in ASB, it's the period right before we have to take this photo, and I'm like, oh no, like today is the day. Like we're supposed to take the picture today. I didn't tell anybody, like nobody's wearing blue. So we go out right before during ASB. I'm like, okay, I guess I have to like scrap together a poster or something. So we had these like paint pens, and I wrote on pieces of paper like seniors 2019 in paint on these pieces of paper. But by the time it got to lunch, it was still wet. So the paint's soaking wet. Like literally the paper's like
Hasn't dried at all.
printer paper. It's like fresh.
Yeah.
And so I hand out to like the seniors who are in ASB. I'm like, okay, take these out to the field. They're like, wait, what? These are wet? Like, I'm like, just go. And so we go out to the field. Nobody tells a senior that they're wet. None of the people on the bleachers know that they're wet. So I go back. I like distribute them all out. I'm like, okay, I'm going. Like I gotta be in the photo. So I go and sit down for the photo. And I hear 2 rows in front of me, people like, oh no, like this is wet. My hands. Oh my gosh. I got blue paint on my pants.
And you're like,
You're like,
these.
who
And Olivia's
did
like,
that?
I don't know.
Who did that, guys? Fess up.
I literally was like, oh, that sucks. Like, I can't believe that's happening.
Do you guys have class color week?
We had like class. No, we had like dress up days before homecoming.
What was your
and,
class
like,
color?
Spring. Ours was blue.
Yours?
I think we were gold.
It's so cool, by the way.
so way cooler.
Yeah.
What was your-
Mine was red. I don't like red.
That's
Guess what mine was? Just
Yellow.
guess a
it
color.
was orange.
No, it was orange.
No, I wish it was. No.
Yellow.
It was green. Ew.
Ew, gross.
So awful.
Oh, well.
I did not like green at all, but you know, what are you going to do? You just decide.
I loved class color week, not because we had to wear a color because I didn't
Red's
like that.
a good color,
but
by
at
the way. Sorry,
I
not to
don't
cut you
like
off.
red. At the end of the week on Friday, we had the big like assembly where it was class against class. So like a couple people from each class would go up and like random, and they'd play games, and it was whoever won the week got
Oh,
like
I remember
a
we
prize.
had that.
Just to be clear, you're talking about OLG, right? You're talking about middle school?
Nope.
High
I thought
school.
for
You're
sure.
talking about where did you go to high school?
I love it. Sometimes Cara will like tell me this story, like, oh, like the upperclassmen would always get these perks. Like and I'd think she's talking about high school, and more often than not, she's talking about like 8th grade.
Really?
The best years of her life, like she peaked in 8th grade
She's
kind
like
of
my
situation.
prime.
No, I
No,
did
not that you peaked,
well,
but like, okay.
I was on student council
Come
and I was
on.
publicity.
That is really
And then
intense.
I'm like, how was high school? She's like, nah, kind of
No,
flew by.
I loved
4
high
years.
school. I loved high school.
I love high school. I make the joke. I recently, my fiance's grandma like took the old shirts and made a blanket of my high school experience, and it was really it turned out incredible. And it just, but I recently joked like if I had it on my bed and Levi like my nephew had to go down for a nap, and I was like, all right, come take a nap on John's glory days, Uncle John's glory days.
That's
but
great.
I'm just kidding. I had a great time in high school, but.
Same.
So you played tennis in high school?
Yeah,
heard-
I was talking about that before
Whoa.
we started recording.
Whispers.
And yeah, I played tennis, and let me tell you why. I'm not an athletic guy at all. I know you're surprised. You're shocked.
That's weird.
I know. I don't scream, pro athlete, but I played tennis. The only reason I played is because if you did 2 years of a sport in high school, at least at my school, you didn't have to take PE a third year or as a senior. I don't really know. High school was so confusing with all those standards. You're like, they're just
So
like,
weird.
take two. If you do 2 sports, then you're good. And I'm like, so I did 2 years. I actually ended up doing 3 years of tennis. I should not have done it my senior year.
You loved it.
enjoyed it.
You absolutely loved it.
Absolutely hated it. Actually, I did it freshman, sophomore, junior, and then I didn't do it senior year. But I was the only junior that was on JV because everyone just like naturally like floated to senior because like as
course.
seniors left, spots opened on varsity and you just went on varsity, and I was just never good enough to make it to varsity. Like I maybe played on the varsity team like 1 or 2 matches, but I didn't. I really hated it. But you know what's funny is I enjoy it now more than I did when I was playing it. Like I would
Playing tennis.
I would enjoy playing tennis with like a friend or something. Like I wouldn't mind it now, but in high school I was like, I absolutely hated it. And but yeah, I did it to not have to do PE, and I really did. The third year I was just doing it because I kind of had friends in it, and my brother David did it, and so I was like, in my junior year was the first year that he was gone, like he had graduated, and I was like,
so you were like kind of in the shadow kind of situation.
Yeah, I was like, do I stick with the tennis and like do one more year? I ended up doing one more year, and I absolutely hated it. But I got the little JV patches. I don't know. They even give patches for JV. I don't know. They gave me something, and
So you had a Letterman jacket,
no, I never did. I couldn't.
but you got the patches.
I
though.
couldn't bear getting a Letterman jacket for like a tennis patch, and they made ASB patches too. And I was like, no, that would have
been so good. Are you kidding me?
The only
Missed
thing
opportunity.
I wish it would have been a thing is I didn't want like the sporty one, like the typical one. But I feel like I've seen people like maybe a long time
They
ago.
have cool like hoodie jacket ones now.
See, and that's what I wish I would have had because I would have put my patches on that. But at the same time, I don't know. I was like a big spirited guy, so I was always, dressing up for everything. I don't know if I would have ever worn it. And I don't want to remember the tennis days, but
I think our school had a robotics team, and I'm pretty sure that was like a whole thing. Like they got patches, but it was like.
The high school is so confusing because at one point they were telling us when I first got into high school, they're like, if you do this program, you get an automatic path into SDSU. And I was like, first of
What
all,
the
I don't
heck?
really, at this time I was like, what's college? I was like a freshman. I'm like, what is college? And of course other people were like, oh, college, I'm going to college. I'm like, and so I ended up not doing the program, but now I'm kind of wishing like now that I'm like a fully formed human, I'm like, maybe I should have done that path,
Dude, did you have a job in high school?
No,
Me neither.
it's best.
No,
my parents
well,
didn't want me to work. That's why.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
My point was like, sometimes I think about high school and I'm like, what was I doing? Like, what did I spend my time on?
Yeah.
Because I remember not
you get
liking
money?
school. I remember not liking school, and then going home and like hanging
did
out.
theater.
I mean, we did theater, but like,
Yeah, theater was a
Yeah.
big part of your after school.
spent a lot of time at rehearsal.
Yeah,
But just like the time on campus,
Yeah.
just like, oh, this sucks.
I used to get out of class all the time. We had this legendary ASB teacher for the 2.5 years that she ended up stepping away at like the last half of my senior year, but she had been there for like 30 years and she just let us do whatever we wanted. And we had like pulled off the most insane things. Like our homecomings were epic. We had like these election, I don't know what NomCon is what it was called. It's nomination convention. And so every election season, all the candidates we'd take over the gym and we'd make it all theme, and they'd all have a booth. And in that, and then it was like real government. They selected like delegates from each classroom to come to NomCon. And when you came,
So
you
sick.
voted to narrow every category of elections to 2 people. Kind of like the election system is now in real life. And then those people went on the official ballot that went to the whole school. But I think
I think my school was like a monarchy. I'm pretty sure like we had
like who made the
like the
decisions?
ASB president like retired, probably died, and then just like the next one seceded, just like right into the next slot.
Yeah, ours
I'm
was
pretty sure.
Ours was a little more intense, but I remember like, and so she would write us out to like go get lunch or go home early. Like literally, you could go to her and be like, "Hey, I'm not feeling well," and she's like, like, I don't believe you, but here's a note. She'd like write you off campus, and you
That
just
is
walk off
nice.
campus.
Dude, what?
So and then she left, and then we got a new teacher, and that new teacher like didn't have the same buy-in, you know, like
Yep.
didn't have like the
Yep.
same historic thing. So then it kind of changed for like the last half. But I remember those days were the best. Like, and that's why what kind of pulled me into ASB was like, I want to be a part of them, and I was getting
I wanna
written
get
out of
away
class
with
for
stuff.
everything.
Yeah.
You know, when I was elections,
Absolutely.
like on election day when I was the elections officer or whatever, I literally would be out for the entire election day because it would just be like making sure ballots are all there, and then I'd be collecting them all, and then we would just sit there for hours running the scantrons through the machine and then figuring out the results. And then I was like, oh yeah, the day's over. I didn't go to any of my classes. None of my
Wow.
teachers cared, by the
Oh,
way.
yeah.
Also,
Oh, yeah.
it's just ASB was where it was at. But I also want to switch. I want to transition a little bit from this if you're all right.
Please
with
get me out of this high school talk here.
that. No, it's still in high school.
Oh,
We're
no.
staying in high school. No, I want to talk because last week we kind of touched on the idea that uniforms, like, because
yeah.
I grew up never wearing a uniform for anything except for tennis. I'm just kidding. And so
Shout out to tennis.
The shorts and the tight shirt, right?
yeah,
Little
it
tennis
was,
outfit.
I think I have the jersey out there.
Yeah,
And,
we're gonna have to see that
Yeah,
after the
I'll
show.
put it on, like, just the whole thing. Do some whatever rallies. I don't know what it's called. And but you wore a uniform. All of you guys wore uniforms
did.
at some point.
Yeah.
And
At
I'm
some
the only
point.
one.
Yeah.
I'm outnumbered here. Tell me about the uniform life.
So, like I said, I went to a private Christian school. Very fortunate and blessed to do that.
We got abs.
Yeah. What's up? And joke's on me because now the school has closed, doesn't exist anymore.
So does your education still count?
I think so. Well, it's funny because we were talking about that the other day. Like, where do I go to get my transcript if I ever needed it? I mean, doesn't matter
You
now.
probably won't.
They can't verify.
It was a whole
this is your
thing.
chance to get into Harvard. You just say you have a 4.0.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
I
They
didn't go
lost the
ask
record.
Verizon. They're gone now. It was a whole thing. But long story short, yes, I did for junior to senior high school. I had a uniform.
And what was like? I here's what I'll say.
Yep.
I always kind of thought it was cool to wear a uniform because in all the movies and all like the high school dramas
Yeah.
and movies and TV shows, they all had uniforms like Zoe 101. I'm not saying I watched it, but I'm saying they had uniforms.
You watched
know?
it.
It was.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, no, you were into it. There's like this
Okay.
sense of like preppy, like you're wearing this uniform, and they were. I mean, they were pretty preppy. Like
They're pretty cool, I
They
thought.
had what was cool is we had a couple of different choices. So like you could either wear like dark pants or khaki shorts or khaki pants. So there was like a couple of options, and then it was like a polo shirt and a rugby shirt and. What else was there? I think that
Button
was
up.
it.
Did you already say the button up?
Oh, and there was like a button.
a
up,
sweater
and
vest?
They had a thing called dress for
Sweater.
success,
Fuck that.
where if you had like if you were in a sport and you had a match or a game or
I forgot about
or one
that.
of the dress for success, you had to
Yes.
like wear the nice pants and the nice shirt and like
And nice
guys had to wear a
shoes.
tie. It was a whole thing.
Like fancy
Sport,
shoes.
we did that. Our sports did that at our school. Like the basketball team or the football team, they all kind of dressed up on
Yeah.
game days. I'm like,
Well,
we
it
didn't
was,
dress up on.
it
game
was like
on
school
match days.
sanctioned.
No
they
way.
were like,
They're
yeah,
we have a
if you
tennis team.
They're like, what? John's on the. So it was just like this thing. I will say I did like about it is like nobody was really. Well, actually, I was gonna say nobody was really trying because everyone was wearing the same thing, but the points where you could shine, no, there was definitely because kids would like you could wear whatever shoes or socks you wanted. So kids were like the nice socks. They were like the not knee highs, but like ankle
Ankle
high
Nike, the Nike logo ones.
socks. Yeah, it
Uh-huh.
was like I think when we were in school, it was like
Vans.
like Huff socks, right?
Oh,
I think.
don't
And
remember
kids
that.
were like, it was like edgy because it was like a Christian school, but you're like wearing like a,
Oh, yeah, I
it's like a
remember that brand.
seedless
Skater.
socks or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. The point is I was wearing the same thing as everybody else, and so that kind of evened the playing field a little bit.
How did that limit? Did it? Well, in Olivia, you can speak to this too because you went to the same school, and even Cara, you went to a uniform school from what K through 8.
Yep.
So like, did it limit your wardrobe? Because I imagine like if like let's look at it as like school's like your full-time job when you're that age, right? It's like 40 hours a week. So like my work for what I wear to work, sometimes not now because I'm working from home, but like when I'm like in the thick of work, like in the office, it kind of dictates my wardrobe because I'm going to wear all this stuff comparatively compared to anything else, Did it dictate that at all or no?
For me, I only went to that school for 7th and 8th grade, and then I went to public high school. So, like, 7th and 8th grade is just a weird time anyways. So it was just always, like, yeah, I just feel like my fashion during that time was very, like, I wasn't really focusing on it because it was, like, all the time I was just wearing a uniform. So, like, that was your focus. And it was funny, too, because, like, certain combos, you know how, like, culture always, like, develops in high school, whatever.
Yeah.
But the certain combos were, like, more... like fashionable than others. So it was like if you had a khaki skirt with
the
like
rugby shirt with the khaki skirt was definitely girls were wearing.
And then when you
that.
had like the there was like sweatshirts, they had crew neck sweatshirts, and then you'd put like your collar underneath the sweatshirt.
That was cool. I will say that was like my
pops.
senior year. They were like, okay, here's a crew neck sweatshirt, and it was cool because it kind of looked like a college, sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Oh, love that.
Sorry. Sorry, I'm popular.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just funny because like what seemed important then, like circling back to that, is like so dumb
So
now.
goofy
Like it
now.
was always like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, what socks am I gonna wear, or what shoes, like
Yes.
with this outfit, or what's clean, because you're wearing the same stuff every single day.
Yeah.
So
No,
it's like
that was what was good is like you could just wear like the same shorts like a couple of days a
Yeah,
week.
and also
they don't
you
get
didn't have to
you
worry
s-
about it,
You sit in the
right?
classroom. Yeah, you're gonna have to turn that off.
not me.
Oh,
You
it
sit
might
in
be
the
my
classroom
laptop
all
over there.
week. Oh, that's depressing.
I'm sorry about that.
You sit in the classroom all week.
I'm
and,
not popular.
I wasn't in a sport, so I was just sitting around, and then I'd go home and change.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I'll wear
I
my
literally-
uniform again tomorrow.
I still can't believe like just you going in 7th and 8th grade. You had choices because I literally had no choices. It was
What was it
either
like?
well
Yeah,
Yeah, tell us your
until
experience.
you get
Catholic middle
you
school,
have to have
or
a white
elementary middle.
polo. Like
Okay.
everyone had to have the same white polo.
Okay.
You had to go to a certain Catholic store, like the uniform store. What was it called?
Milford's
Dennis.
or-
It was called Dennis Uniforms.
Okay.
What was the
That
one
was
we-
ours.
Mills?
But you had to go there
Yeah,
to
Sue
find your
Mills.
skirt or
Yeah.
find it used.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Until 5th grade, you had to wear a jumper, so like the full dress. And then after that, you get a choice of a skirt. You had to get the same shorts and the same pants as everyone else, and you got one sweatshirt.
Did your like normal outside of the uniform wardrobe, do you think it was affected? Do you think like you didn't have as many clothes outside of the uniform, or were the uniform just additionally on top of what you like normal amount?
For me, my entire wardrobe was like rehearsal clothes. So if you think about like
Yeah.
middle school Cara,
We're all a
all
bunch of
she
theater
had
geeks.
was like Aeropostale t-shirts that said Aeropostale, and then
Cute.
If only we
gauchos.
had a photo to show. That's really what I wanted to see.
I could find one,
We're
and I
gonna
had
cut to
gauchos.
that.
So
Cut to
Oh, I had
photo.
gauchos. I liked those. They were comfortable.
they made a comeback.
Did they?
I feel like they did, but
Like those
yeah.
those shoes last episode threw me.
Whoa, the BC ones.
I was like, no.
I will say we had what was called free dress days.
Yeah.
Which
my
it was
gosh.
like right.
Wow.
Oh, I'm bringing it back.
Well, that's what I was wondering. I was going to
So
ask
it
you
was like a
too.
reward. So like
Okay.
sometimes like if I think it was like a homecoming thing at one point. It was like, oh, if you won homecoming, your class would get free dress for a week or something.
That's a blur
Really?
Or
to
it would
me.
be random, like it'd be a holiday weekend, and
Yeah.
it's like Friday, everybody gets free
Yeah,
dress.
yeah.
And
dress,
free
huh?
dress, kind of going back to the socks thing, kids would come out for free dress. Like they were like wearing their nice Christmas clothes, like
Yeah.
like nice, like brand new outfits. Basically,
Isn't that like the irony behind like it's not actually what you really wear
No,
anyways?
no.
you know?
It's like
It's
basically
not
still a
really
uniform.
free dress.
Yeah.
You're just like using your
You're
one
like,
day.
This
to,
is
like,
my one
stud
chance
out.
to show everyone how cute I dress on the norm when I'm not at school.
At
So
my
I'm gonna wear
school-
my nice clothes.
It was every first Tuesday of the month.
Oh, so you had
and
free
then-
dress at Catholic school? Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
And then my 7th grade year, my brother's grade, all the girls would start wearing really inappropriate things. So they ruined it for my 8th grade year, and we could only wear our school
I
colors.
need to know what
was
were the
considered
inappropriate
inappropriate?
things that 7th graders were wearing.
Spaghetti
Skirts
straps.
above the knee.
Really?
Oh,
No
Yeah.
way, I knew
Trying
Yeah.
to think
Scandal.
above the
it had
knee.
to be.
scandal.
Yeah. So
That was a thing too.
the free
actually,
dress
at our school.
changed after that.
I don't know if I'd wear shorts like below the knee. Like I
Oh,
think it's
no.
right at
It was-
the knee.
It was different for guys. Guys, they didn't care.
You're
It
talking
was
about
literally-
skirts?
Yeah.
They'd
it
like
was-
hike up their skirts because
Oh,
they're like,
really?
Yeah.
I'm
they
cute. I got a little
literally
short skirt.
had to
on."
And also, they
be
make the
at your
skirts like
Dre-
they make the skirts long.
They
I'll
do.
say
That's
dress.
true.
I'll say dress code was a big deal at my school.
Yeah.
Like it was because
Sure.
we didn't. I mean, like I said, I'm the only one that didn't have uniforms here, and so like we, I remember girls getting sent home like every day, and then there was the type of girl at my school who like was just sticking it to the man and just like showing up every day and
Respect.
getting sent home every single day.
Respect.
And I
Fight on.
remember, what comes to mind, like right immediately is my friend Riley Miles, and she's now like she went to school for fashion and like and now is like a legit fashion designer and
Fashionista.
artist, And I remember she used to hate the dress code, and I was like, "What's the big deal?" Like because as a guy, I shouldn't say as a guy because that's kind of like very like boxing, but I'm saying like my personality
Gender
didn't really
stereotypes.
yeah, really. My personality didn't really care about clothes. Well, clearly, if you saw a
Yeah.
picture of me in high school, you would get that feeling.
Let's cut back to the
Cut to the
DC shoes.
shoes.
I
I'm
want
saying-
a button on a keyboard or something that we could just press and it'll
The
just
DC shoes.
superimpose the shoes back up there.
Yeah, but she was like ahead of her time. She still kind of is, and she was like, "But clothes is like how you express yourself. Like we get to show who we are on the outside through clothes." And then I thought, what you guys experienced? Like was that a problem? Do you feel like you were muted or something like that, or no?
It's
I
weird
kind of
because
ask myself that too. I'm like,
Yeah.
was there, or did we just not like following the rules because
well, they have
we're
this.
kids?
They
I don't
have
know.
this exact debate in Princess Diaries, the first movie, where
Thank
she
you.
has to debate Amelia Thermopolis
Thermopolis.
Rinaldi,
Wow, big fan of Princess
Genovia.
Diaries.
She, anyways, had to debate, and then she throws up. That's not important, but she was debating, and she said her best friend Lily whispers to her, "It's an equalizer. That's why we like it." And so it does kind of
Oh.
even the playing field because it's like it doesn't matter what, like it's not like whatever you wear, because sometimes what you wear determines for people like I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it determines
Status.
your.
But even still, same with the socks though. Like people were still trying to push their own
That's true.
thing, like wedge their own personality into that.
A pair of socks.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
like what you
it's a
brought
pair of
about it.
socks, but it's I picked these socks. I'm gonna wear them because I like them.
Did you guys ever
I don't
watch
know.
Bones?
No,
No.
never saw.
TV show? Oh, okay.
Heard of it.
Well, there's an FBI. It's like a whole show.
Sounds
but
dumb.
The FBI agent, he wears like normal ties, but he gets like these really cool ties where they're like normal on the front half, but on the inside they're like a really cool pattern. And he does the same thing with his socks. And he's like, it's my like way of like defying the rules, like it's just even slightly, is to wear like crazy socks, and also the inside of my tie is like wacky or whatever.
I think there's something to that. Yeah.
That's what I wonder. It clearly didn't affect you guys. You guys are all creative people, and it didn't stunt you creatively or even as a person. I don't know. Maybe it did. Tell me, did it? I mean,
For a period of time, it did for me because I was like out of touch with what I even like to wear. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. What
once
was
I
it
went-
like when you went to
That is true.
college and you didn't have to wear?
Well, you went to a public high school.
I went to a
so
public
what was
high
that
school.
like?
Okay.
So freshman year was like interesting for
Like
me
a
because
baby
I was
bird.
like, oh wow, like I get to pick my clothes again.
Like, this
It's
is really
also
intimidating.
new. Yeah, and
Back
then
to
it's
school
like,
shopping is an actual thing.
I know, yeah, that was weird because it's also like I was going to a new school, so it was like assimilating to that culture too. Of like I don't even know what they like to wear here. You always want to fit in when you're.
So
in
what'd
high
you wear
school.
on your first day? Do you remember? I guess
Oh,
that's kind of
I
a
do-
specific question.
No, I do remember.
First day of freshman year, what'd you wear?
First day of freshman year, I wore Birkenstocks and
Yeah.
shorts and like a shirt from Target, I think. But it was like
Cool.
It was interesting. I think I might have introduced Birkenstocks to my high school because after I wore Birkenstocks, my friends started
It blew
wearing
up.
them. Just saying.
Interesting.
My first day freshman year was, oh my gosh, my outfit was so bad. I remember. It was like an ugly skirt with a tank top and a shirt underneath, which is actually fashionable now. Like people do that
Layers.
now. And then I didn't know. I like got a locker for PE, but I didn't know like how to use a locker. So I had a backpack and a purse. I was like, which one do I put in my locker? Do I carry around my purse?
What did you
all
go
day?
with?
I carried everything around all day.
You carried both around
Yeah.
the entire day.
They're like, this locker isn't being used.
This is an empty box.
You carried both everywhere.
And she did that for
only
4 years.
No, literally only the
I
first
wish we
day
had
because I was like,
lockers.
To
wait,
this
no one
day.
else carries your purse. You just put all that stuff in your backpack too.
I wish we had lockers. I remember that was the one thing they discontinued lockers at my high school like a couple years before.
Oh, we only had it for PE.
Oh,
Was it a
If you had
drugs related
PE.
thing?
Oh no, we had lockers for PE. I thought you had like lockers in like.
Oh, yeah.
You
in
didn't
high
have
school.
like lockers for your books or whatever.
No.
No, and I remember I was really sad. I was like, oh man, that's like the high school movies and TV shows really oversold it for me. And so I was like, oh, I don't have a locker, but that's right. But yeah, I mean, it was interesting. I just wondered, like, did uniform stifle it? But it doesn't sound like it did. Or maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe
for
I
me,
haven't
7th and
taken
8th
the-
grade's weird anyways. So.
I haven't taken the time to really think about it, I guess.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
you should analyze that.
It
and come
was
back.
dumb because I'm like, like I said, you're at school and you're like, oh, I can't wait to get home and change out of this uniform. And then I go home and wear like cargo shorts and a t-shirt. I'm like, oh, thank God. But
you're
I'm
like,
like still an
this
idiot
is
at
me
home.
now.
Yeah.
This is the
I'm
real.
finally being myself.
I'm like, I get home at 3:00 and for 2 hours, I'm going to wear a brand new outfit and then
I'm gonna
throw
wear
it
a-
in the laundry.
And take that, school.
So stupid.
I love
Like,
that. That is awesome. Well, I think you should analyze your high school uniform experience and come back next week with a more accurate depiction.
Yeah, I think so.
Just like I'm going to have you analyze my dream that I had last night, if that's okay.
I'm
with
really
you.
excited about this.
For the record,
please.
you've
Well,
never
you-
heard this.
Yeah, you introduced the segment. mean,
I just basically I had a really interesting dream last night, and I thought, who can interpret this for me? Oh, I know exactly who can interpret this. It's Ryan Foy with Dream Interpretation. Dream Interpretation.
what does it mean?
I don't like this. I don't like this.
I love it.
What does it mean?
We're gonna need the actual theme music, so make sure you remember what you did there.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is
on
our
the record.
our very first, and who knows how often this will happen. It just really will happen when I can remember my actual dreams. I do dream quite a bit. I don't remember it. This one I do remember.
Whoa.
So I thought, let's turn it into a segment on our podcast.
That's my least favorite part.
No, I love it. That is awesome.
Okay,
So let
I'm
me tell
ready.
you, do you want, here's what I think we should do. I'll tell you the full dream, and then you tell me what it means, or at least what some of the elements represent.
Yeah,
You think you could do that?
I think so.
All right.
I think I can recall all of my.
Let me tell you, this is how it went, okay? And
My skills.
And I hope that Jordan's not mad. I'm releasing this because Jordan's in the dream, and I
Okay.
did tell her about it. I gave her a brief synopsis.
If it's okay
but-
with you, I'm gonna close my eyes while you talk.
Close
to
your
me.
eyes,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
Okay, so I'm at Jordan's house, and her mom just got a brand new cat. Now, this cat is like white with kind of calico brown and black mix, and they have two black cats right now, but they got a new cat, and I don't remember the name. Doesn't matter. And they're like, "Oh, this cute cat's so cute," blah, blah, blah. And I like walk in the room, and I go to meet it for the first time, and it was really standoffish towards me. It doesn't like me. And then I'm like, oh, that's weird. Like, whatever. Like, he'll get, the cat will get used to you. Right? I can't remember the gender. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to assign it anyways. And I was like, I couldn't remember exactly what the name was. And then the cat starts like goes to bite me. And I'm like freaked out. And I mean, I'm like most people, but I think it is kind of weird. I get really freaked out when an animal starts to even seem like aggressive. Even if it's not intentional, I'm like, oh, okay, this is weird. So I start freaking out. Well, then they pull back the cat. And they're like, that's so weird. Like, whatever. He'll get used to you. Blah blah. I'm like, okay, all right. So then every time, every time I keep coming out, when Jordan and I go in her room, we're like organizing her room. We're working in her room, and then every time I come out into the living room, the cat like starts to attack me again, and I'm like, this is not cool. And it's like I can remember like it biting my wrist, and I'm like. It didn't hurt, like physically hurt, but I was like, this is freaking me out, right? So then Jordan's like, okay, we're just gonna shut the door in my room. We're gonna hang out in here, and the cat, you don't have to deal with it. And then we'll work with the cat next time, right? Because the cat was fine with her mom and her. And then I can like see in the background the doorknobs like, and the door opens, and it's the cat again. And then Jordan's like, oh, it's no big deal. Like the cat can hang out in here. And I was like. It just attacked me. Like we shut the door, and then Jordan's like, "It's fine, it's fine." Well, then the cat starts attacking me, and I'm like, "What is going on?" So then we're like, keep putting it out, keep swimming back in, and I'm like freaked out. And then I just remember it's like, at one point I was laying on the floor in her room, and I didn't know the cat had got back in, and it like This like jumped on top of me, and I could just like see the cat from like underneath it. And I was like, and then I woke up. I like woke up in that moment, like kind of was like a jump scare moment. And then I remember waking up in the middle of the night, and it was dark, and like there was like a low glow from my TV, and I was like, that was the weirdest dream. Like I consciously knew I was awake, but for the rest of the night, I could not sleep. No part of my body could be exposed from the covers. Like I had to fully cover myself because I had this weird like subconscious thing that like if my hand was like out or if my face was partially covered, that a cat was just going to start attacking that part of my body. And it was so hot last night. And so I was just like suffering in suffocation underneath the covers because I was like, that psychology was still like embedded in me because I wasn't fully awake or
With
whatever.
that fear, yeah.
So tell me what it means.
Okay.
Joseph Ferris
I have a couple
Gumby.
questions
Go
before
ahead.
I interpret here. In your relationship with Jordan, are you the worrier or is she the worrier? About anything?
I think she's primarily the worrier.
And you're kind of the like, hey, it's gonna be okay. Like
Go
we're
with
gonna
the
get
flow
through
guy.
this,
Yeah.
whatever it is. Okay, that's what I gathered. I'm with that.
Okay, all right.
I'm seeing that. How excited. So let me just talk you through my thought process.
Go ahead.
You just helped Jordan move back to Colorado.
I did, yeah.
Okay, right? And so how long is she going to be there for?
Well, she'll be there. She's coming back in February for a family thing for like just a weekend.
But
she's going to be gone for like the next year and a half off and on. Yeah.
and you guys did just get engaged recently. Not just engaged.
July,
but,
yeah.
But yes. Okay. Like 6 months ago. So this is this looming, you're kind of wedding planning. On top of that, now you're kind of got this separation. I think the cat is going to be something. This is going to sound stupid because it's like, duh. But like the cat is something. It's either already here, you already know what it is,
Yeah.
or it's coming. Is something that is really going to put you through the ringer.
Okay.
And Jordan is going to be that voice of reason for you. It's gonna, so your normal dynamic is gonna flip.
Whoa.
That's what I think. So it's either
My
either a work. I think it could, because this kind of has the essence of like a stress dream a little bit.
It was very stressful.
So you
Very
woke up
stressful.
hot. You're like,
Did your teeth fall out in the dream?
Oh heck no.
that's
I
another
hate
big
that dream.
stress dream.
No, I don't think I've ever had the teeth falling out.
No.
Good. You don't want it.
It's not good.
It's a sign of stress.
But this seems like it could be a stress dream, connected to her moving and you worrying about like her being, safe and her, obviously all of everything that goes with travel right now and being in a different place.
So you think it's something that I'm going to be in stress about and our roles are going to flip?
I hate to say that to you, but I think in that time, that's the good thing in this situation is that in that time, Jordan will be there for you. So whatever this thing
Cat.
that's looming
Whatever
over,
this cat
whatever
is.
your cat is going to be or already is, it's going to be okay.
Wow. Thank you, man. I really appreciate you interpreting it. Can I tell you the weirdest dream I ever had, though?
You can. And you want me to interpret that one?
Yeah, interpret this one.
Yeah, okay.
This
was in
I think
fourth
it's a little
grade.
straightforward. I have actually had it a couple times.
Okay.
Well, I've had the dream, but there's one element that only happened. It only happened the first time. I was physically. It was in the cul-de-sac outside my house. So like the little circle.
So right here in the little circle.
Everything was exactly how it is. At the time that in this time period, and I was fighting this shadowy figure. Like it didn't have like human traits. It just was like kind of a shadow of a person, and I was like fighting them, and we were going back and forth, and I knew I couldn't beat it. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna hide underneath the car because it's the neighborhood. So I hid under this car. It went away, and I woke up in the shower.
In real life?
In real life.
In real life.
You fell asleep in the shower. Did you sleepwalk or did you?
I sleepwalked. I was
Wow.
And then so that was kind of groggy, the shower portion, because I remember like being in the shower, and I kind of got out, went back to bed, and I didn't really really remember it,
Did
but
you have pajamas on?
No, I was
Yeah,
fully
wait, were
naked.
you like a kid?
No. I was. It was probably like I was 15 or 16. This was like 4 or 5 years
My
ago.
God.
And so I remember. I kind of remember it, not really. And then I was like, I didn't believe that I was actually in the shower. I thought it was part of the dream. And then I was talking to my mom the next morning, and I was like, yeah, I had this really weird dream. And she's like, yeah, why were you in the shower at 2 a.m.?
She knew.
And I'm like,
Whoa.
I was in the shower, and she's like, yeah, the shower was on at like 2:30, and she's like, and then you came out.
You were taking a shower asleep.
Yeah, he said he was fully
I
naked.
sleptwalked into the shower.
Oh, so you didn't wake? Did you wake up and then go, oh, why am I in the shower?
Yes, I had like
Oh.
that, but it was so groggy that I didn't know if it was
Yeah.
part of the dream or if it was in real
Yes.
life. My
Oh,
mom
I see.
confirmed it
I
by
see.
saying,
Like,
you were in the
were you?
shower at 2:30 last night.
Oh my god.
You were like, what?
So I think this. Don't tell anybody. This stays in this room,
Okay.
of course. And
And?
I think I was possessed. I don't know why I would go in the shower as a
What?
possessed person, but I think because I was fighting something, I think I was fighting whatever I was. I don't really believe in all that stuff, but I'm just saying, like, it tracks, right? I mean, like, I'm fighting whoever this thing, right? It's who that's possessing me, and somehow I physically walked into the shower, and I don't know why. If something was possessing me, I don't know why they'd want to go in the shower, but I don't know. What do you think about that?
Stranger
I'm
things.
not gonna fully rule out possession.
Okay, thank you.
But
Well, I
think-
appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I'm open to it. I think our subconscious is capable of like powerful things. Like I think like our brain
Sleepwalking.
is sleepwalking for one, like controlling your body when you're not,
Aware.
making it.
Yeah.
I
Isn't that
was
interesting?
I had a friend when I was like the same age, and he said his brother was the worst, like did the most sleepwalking ever. And one night he got up out of bed, he walked into his parents' room, he peed in the trash can. Wait, no. He went downstairs.
Okay.
Okay, I'm piecing this together.
Yeah, it's
Right,
coming back
right.
to you. Like
He
a
went
premonition,
downstairs,
I know.
he got a banana, brought it up to his parents' room, left it in the bathroom, peed in the shower, and then like screamed at his parents and went back to bed. Like this, like all while he was
Oh,
asleep.
that's fully a night terror.
And he walked
Why?
and he waked
Why?
up and he's like, I don't know. He's like, what are you talking about?
Gosh.
He's like, I slept fine.
My sister did the same thing. She sleptwalked into my mom and parents' room, and then went into one of their closets and stood on a stool in the corner, and just stood there. And my mom like got up and was like,
What age?
"Are you?" She was probably 9 or 10. Or
That's
8 or 10,
terrifying to have your own kid and you wake up
Oh
and
no!
see them
If my
standing.
kid did that, I
I'd
would
send
be
it right back.
freaked
Right
out.
back to the hospital.
I would be
Oh
so
my
freaked out.
gosh.
I did that to my parents because they told me that I had night terrors a lot
Nope.
when I was little.
Nope.
The only one that I remember is I had like those big mirrors on my closet door.
Yeah.
I remember getting up, and it must have only been like 8:30 because everyone, my parents were still all awake. Mom was on the phone with grandma, like all this stuff. I remember getting up and looking in the mirror and seeing like some kind of like devilly thing, and I
Nope.
screamed at my
Nope,
reflection,
nope.
ran out to my mom, and was just screaming bloody murder. And they were like, "What is wrong?"
I
with
would,
you?"
Bro.
and we should get your siblings in here and interview them about that because I've heard it's bad.
Oh, I was
Or
only
it was bad.
The
I was
night
only
terrors
like
were bad?
that was when I was like 3 to 6. So
Really?
like Emma wasn't born yet.
Well,
Noah was a baby. Connor would
Little
probably
Coco,
remember.
yeah, Coco. will know.
We'll get Connor in here. We'll get him in here.
You know.
No, isn't that weird though? I'm not. I guess I had. I think I had like a few episodes of sleepwalking when I was a kid, but I was like, it must have been at least 7-8 years before, since I had maybe slept walk. But I was like I was like a teenager. I was like about to graduate. I was like in the middle of high
course.
school. And I remember being so freaked out about it. The dream didn't freak me out, but finding out that I actually was in the shower
Sure.
was like, oh,
And like things even worse could have happened.
yes.
Confirmed your inkling that you were in the shower.
Crazy.
Have you ever had visitors in your dreams, like spirits?
What, Ryan? What?
Well, okay, that's why I'm
I
saying
have.
I will
Why
not.
have you never told me
I'm not
that?
going to rule. Well, I've told you. My grandma's visited me in dreams before.
Really?
In the past couple of years, we've had quite a few family members pass away, and I've had them come and visit me in dreams before. I've told you this.
Yeah.
I fully had a dream. So my Grammy passed away, and like a year or two later, I had a dream, and she was sitting with us just at dinner, and I was like, and I fully knew that it was her. Because, well, obviously it looked like her, but like I knew it had to be
Like, actually her.
because she was pissed off. She's like, "Hey, And I was like, "Hi, Grammy. Oh my gosh, like I haven't seen you. I'm so glad you're here." And she was like pissed. She's like, "Yeah, well, you're not, you know." She was like mad at me about something. She's like, "Yeah, well, you got to clean the kitchen." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's Grammy." Like
That's
for
Grammy.
sure. Yeah.
That's
So that's I don't know if maybe this is hopeful thinking, but I don't know if dark spirits have the same abilities.
Have the same capabilities.
Either
yeah.
that or maybe I am, you know, maybe like I said, like your subconscious is powerful enough to project like believable images to your, you know,
Or you just
in
watched
your
a scary
dreams.
movie right before bed.
No, because there
Yeah.
was nothing scary about it. It was like I'm sitting here with my grandma, like without a shadow of a doubt. I was like, I felt her presence. you
Really?
know?
And as much as you want to control your dreams, like I've tried so many times where I'm like, okay, tonight I'm gonna have a dream that I'm in Disneyland, and then I go to bed and it's like absolutely like nothing similar to Disneyland. It's like you have no control over your dreams. It's all like out of like your thoughts and like you know like it's just like random stuff.
Events
It's so
that are
weird.
coming up.
Well, that's all your thoughts are. Is just
stuff
like
you don't recognize.
those, you know, those electrons firing
Firing.
off, or what's the synapses, right? Just firing off in your brain.
Yeah.
At any moment, it's like, okay, here's some random data, like here it is. Oh, remember this?
I sleep talk a lot when I sleep.
Yeah, you do.
apparently.
Yes,
So
you
I've
do.
heard.
You're a
I'm
sleep
told.
talker, huh?
Yeah, pretty loud. And I apparently one time my mom and I and one of our family friends were going early to this like retreat. And we stayed the night before like all of the campers got there. And so we're all sleeping in the same cabin. And apparently me and our family friend were talking to each other in our sleep. And we would pause for each other to finish. And it was all just like nondescript like things. It was just like gibberish, yeah.
Yeah.
But we would wait for each other to finish and respond to each other. Isn't that creepy? And my mom woke up and was like,
Do you remember, like,
What's
was there any ties,
happening?
like, in your dreams or anything? Like, did anything cross
I
over?
don't even think I had a dream.
Oh,
like
okay.
that night, I don't even.
Well, and
think.
if it's the person I'm thinking of, she was notorious.
Oh my
like,
gosh,
for
she
sleep
was.
talking.
She
too.
might have been worse than you.
way worse. Like,
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Wow. Yeah, I think
So
dreams are pretty
funny.
powerful. I always wonder if, like you're saying,
Uh-huh.
we make it kind of a funny bit about the whole dream interpretation, but I wonder if, like, our subconscious is trying to communicate to us in these dreams that we remember. I have plenty of dreams that I just, like, never remember.
Yeah.
But it's funny that the weird ones that stick out. Like, last night, I remember waking up thinking, I'm going to forget this. I should write it down. Didn't write it down.
Yeah.
And I still remembered it. So it worked out. But isn't it interesting, like, is it like our the brain is so crazy.
Yep.
I mean, the fact that we still don't even know a lot about the brain is nuts.
Insane.
And so the fact that you can have these, like, kind
Fully
of
formed stories.
yes, like movie status dreams.
Yes,
You know, like I
yes.
used to have the one, I don't know if you ever had it, but
Sure.
the one where, like, I had Spider-Man's abilities and I could, like, literally
Yep.
I could
What?
literally, like,
Absolutely.
web to each building and it felt like I was flying.
Yep.
Like, and I remember thinking, this is insane. And,
Yeah.
like, also, and part of me was like, this is definitely a dream, but I'm not going to let this go. And I, like, lived it a little longer, but, you know.
Have you ever
so
had-
you realized when you were in the dream? Because I've
Kind
done
of.
that
I've done
before,
that.
and it immediately ends. I'm like, oh, this is a dream, and I wake up.
Have you
Dang
had the
it.
ones where you
Reset
literally wake up
So dumb.
and it's like, oh, I love this dream, and then you go back to bed and it starts again,
Picks up,
like
yeah.
it picks up where it was. I have that all
Whoa,
the time,
do
probably
you?
75% of the time.
Yes.
And then I
Wow.
forget
Do you
it.
guys ever have that?
But then I
You
forget
go back
it.
to sleep, and the dream picks back up right where it
and
was.
it's awesome.
It takes some work though. You have to really be like, okay, I am
Yeah.
going to choose to go back to sleep
That
right
is
now.
apparently something you can do through like just training and meditation. Is
Astral
like,
projection.
What's it called?
Astral
lucid,
projection.
Lucid dreaming.
lucid dreaming, where you're like fully in control of your dreams, and you can like.
See,
Oh,
I
yeah.
wasn't in
I'm
control of
Dr.
it. I was just,
Dr.
it
Strange.
just started
Wim Hof.
again.
I am a Dr. Strange. No, I think you're right. I mean, it's kind of interesting, and you've ever had a reoccurring bad dreams? Anybody?
Yes. Yes. Like a
definitely
scary
the-
place that you go to.
Yeah.
I've had that before where it's like a scary, like, I can't even describe it, but when I'm there, I'm like, oh, I've been here before.
Mine is definitely my teeth falling out, or like anything with my teeth, like a teeth
that.
rotting, an infection, losing my two front teeth,
Ew, okay,
like
okay.
always
Really?
teeth.
That's good.
It's always teeth. I get stressed
not good
pretty
that-
easily
Aw.
about things.
Hundreds of
so-
viewers just clicked off.
No, that's not true. No, you're right. I've never had the teeth falling out.
Yeah,
that
that's-
seems pretty
you don't
common.
want to.
Maybe I'll have it tonight, huh?
you never know.
Kind of fun.
Hope
I had
not,
one-
if you're stressed.
I had one teeth falling out dream, and it was the day before I was gonna get on a flight by myself, and it was like the first time I was
You were
flying
afraid.
alone.
You were scared about that.
And I didn't even realize I was scared, but I had a dream, and all my teeth fell out, and I was like, oh, I have to go to the dentist and fix this. Like, it was weird.
Sometimes those dreams, I'll wake up with my teeth hurting, and then it's like, oh, I was just like clenching my teeth all night.
I had this reoccurring dream. I can't remember it now, or like the specific details. But the setting was always the cul-de-sac, which is where I had the one that I was telling you about, the shower one. And so I wonder if, like, because as a kid we spent so much time out there, like just hanging out with friends, like riding our bikes, water balloon fights. It was all in that setting. So I wonder if like that setting has an impression
Easy.
on like this weird negative dream
stage
that I kept
of your-
having.
yeah.
Weird.
It's really interesting. This has been a segment of dream interpretation.
I forget what now.
What does it mean?
Interpretation. All right, enough with this negative stuff, huh? I would like to watch some funny videos. We had a great time watching funny videos last week, and we watched a few TikToks. And if you watched the video version, you probably didn't see it that great. But this week we've upped our game, and you'll be able to see it in real time.
Maybe.
Oh,
Maybe.
we're really
Maybe.
trying.
Maybe.
I'm
Hold
really
on.
trying.
Oh,
It's not
we're
letting me
trying.
drag.
Really?
Well, we'll just
Can you drag anything to
superimpose
it?
it, maybe.
Let me hold on.
Yeah, kill the whole thing.
Just
Kill it.
and
Up. There you go. And so last week we watched just funny videos. Our research producer Olivia here, she pulled some funny ones, and we had a great time with it. And so this week we're gonna hopefully watch a few.
Yes.
All
Now
right.
tell us how you found these.
TikTok.
Oh, you're a big TikToker, huh?
Yeah, as of right now, I am. Yep. I enjoy TikTok. At first, I was like, I don't like TikTok because they're stealing our data. But then I was like, everybody's stealing our data.
Yeah.
I'm not protected.
Yeah. So are we ready to
False
watch these
protection.
together?
Yeah,
Might as
we're
well
ready.
enjoy my life.
let's pop it on.
Is the volume all set too?
Ooh,
Producer Olivia.
That's a good question.
Wow.
Yes, it is.
So
Screen
don't-
and
is this-
screen.
does
Don't
this
play
one
it to
need-
entertainment room. Play
Yeah,
it to,
you gotta play it to your
so go back
headphone
there.
jack.
You're right.
This is a segment called
We're figuring it out.
Audio.
All right, here we go.
Hold on. Wait.
Does this one need context or does it not?
There
It
we
does
are.
not.
Do any of these need
I
context?
don't think so. Well, we'll see as
kind of the
as we
nature
go
of TikTok,
through.
right?
Yeah.
It's
You kind of
just
just
like, here we-
scroll and.
Here we
TikTok
go.
needs no context.
No.
All right, I love it. Let's do it.
Oh, sound's not working.
Oh, go to that and turn it back.
Nope,
Turn it up.
Just it's got to turn up.
You're
now.
right.
Maybe not.
Well, maybe not that much.
Okay, all right, there you go.
Okay.
You're seeing this
This is
at
a
home,
segment
so-
called Audio.
Here we go. No way.
I'm gonna need to see that one again.
Wait,
I was
play
not.
that again.
I was.
Wait, what is going on? This guy's a wizard.
It just comes out of nowhere.
I didn't know he had a ping pong ball in his mouth.
I know.
So if you're listening, there's
Look
a
at the
guy
mouth.
on a headstand,
Boom.
and he shoots a ping pong ball out of his mouth into a spinning toilet paper roll and makes it in
Through the hole.
the hole of the toilet paper roll.
How
That
many
is
times
incredible.
did that
By the way,
take?
if you're listening, you gotta slide over to YouTube because this is incredible.
This is the best ad possible.
Remember
for
your
the
timestamp.
visual.
Slide over to YouTube
That's right,
and pick
that's
it up
right.
right from where you are. All right, that was pretty good. I love that one.
That one.
Nice.
I was not prepared.
It's a mixed
Wow.
bag today.
Okay, here we go.
It's-
Here
All
we
right,
go.
this looks like it's
This
Dr.
might be
Seuss.
really loud.
Play it.
Let's hope it's not too loud.
Oh,
That's terrifying.
We got stuck.
oh, they got stuck.
Where is this?
So this is
terrifying.
thing one and thing two.
This has got to be in Universal
It looks
Studios,
like a
Florida.
it's
huh?
a Susical ride of
They
some
have
sort.
a Cat in the Hat looking ride.
Yeah.
Oh, and that is just terrifying.
That is terrifying. It looks like The Grudge.
And then they get stuck on the
They
ride
get stuck and
in
it's
front of these scary
roll-looking
freaking guys.
thing one and thing two.
I
That
don't
is
like
pretty
that
good.
at all.
That was
one
pretty.
was pretty-
That was pretty
that was
sus.
pretty
I'm not gonna
scary.
lie.
Pretty scary.
Yikes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I love this
Oh,
one.
here we go.
Strawberry cake mix
And a
and some sort of
is that
fire.
like a firecracker? A bomb?
Looked like it.
I don't know.
He's making the cake batter.
Don't you know each cloud contains Spanish
Okay.
from heaven?
Oh my gosh. He's baking. He's putting the firecracker inside of this cake.
No, it's a
And the
candle.
wick of the cake is the firecracker lighter.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, that scared me.
oh my gosh. Oh,
It just stops?
is that how it ends? It's just a full explosion? And the cake explodes, but we don't know how it ends. That is awful.
To be continued.
That scared me.
That ending photo is too much. It just looked like sparks are flying. Did they even survive that
He
explosion?
had no idea. That is.
We should try that
fantastic.
sometime
Oh.
on somebody.
Okay. Why don't you
Okay.
hit that one? And here we go again. Every time we gotta end the show. We gotta pop that video on.
I love that one.
Oh,
Great
jeez.
job once again,
Wow.
Olivia. Incredible
Shout out
stuff.
to
Thank you. That's
TikTok.
our.
That's gonna wrap our show today, right?
Is that the?
Gosh.
Is that the end of our time here?
Yeah.
Wow.
That really did
Oh
fly
my
by.
gosh, that
Actually,
was so
It flew by.
no, no lie there.
And we made it. But you want to play us out?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, we gotta unmute your.
I got John's text messages coming through there.
Ooh. Are you gonna sing too or no?
I think we'll get copyright.
Oh. To come with new lyrics. New lyrics. Just a podcast. Yeah.
Wait, what key is that in?
The podcast.
There it is.
We can make it if we try. What the podcast? You and I. What the podcast? The castles in the sky. What the podcast?
There it is.
John and I.
Oh, and on that note,
Hit the real theme song.
we'll see you
We
next
want to
week.
thank you. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Spotify. Give us a
Instagram,
like. Give us a
Facebook.
comment.
Come
We're
on.
on Instagram. We're
Refer
on
to a
Facebook.
friend.
I don't know. Go and tell a friend in real life, or don't. No, COVID's still out there.
Yep, I had
Stay
a
in
great
your
time
bubble.
today with you, Ryan.
Wear a mask. Stay apart
Oh,
from
wear
each
a
other.
mask.
Please.
Exactly,
Let's
yes.
end this whole dumb thing quickly.
And we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week. See you next week, John.